1. Red Sox sweep leads to Nationals front office overhaul. 2. Nationals shakeup, firing of manager Dave Martinez and GM Mike Rizzo. 3. MLB insider, Miguel Cairo's unexpected Nationals interim manager opportunity. 4. Nats fire GM and manager, impact on number 1 MLB draft pick and trade deadline. 1. Red Sox sweep leads to Nationals front office overhaul. A devastating sweep by the Red Sox left their opponents reeling, pushing one team to make drastic changes overnight. Curious about what happens when a baseball team's performance hits rock bottom? Let's dive into the drama, the decisions, and the fallout that has fans buzzing. The Boston Red Sox delivered a crushing blow to the Washington Nationals, sealing their fate in a way that felt almost cinematic. This wasn't just a loss, it was a weekend sweep on the Nationals' home turf that left the team with no choice but to take extreme measures. Imagine the pressure, your team is struggling, the fans are restless, and then a powerhouse like the Red Sox comes in and exposes every weakness. That's exactly what happened, and the Nationals' response was swift and decisive. On Sunday, the Nationals made headlines by parting ways with two key figures, general manager Mike Rizzo and manager Dave Martinez. ESPN's Jeff Parsan broke the news, and the team soon confirmed it with an official statement. Taking the reins as interim general manager is Mike DeBartolo, who now faces the daunting task of steering a franchise that's been struggling to find its footing. This shakeup isn't just a minor adjustment, it's a complete overhaul of leadership, signaling that the Nationals are desperate for a fresh start. The team's owner, Mark Lerner, didn't hold back in expressing gratitude but also made it clear why these changes were necessary. "We owe a huge debt of thanks to Mike and Davey for everything they've done for our team and our community," Lerner said. "Their leadership brought us a World Series title in 2019, and for that, we'll always be thankful. But let's be honest, our recent performance on the field hasn't lived up to the expectations of our fans or ourselves. We're at a turning point, and we believe bringing in new perspectives and energy is the best way to move forward." And this is the part most people miss, the Nationals' struggles aren't just about a few bad games. This is a team that hasn't seen postseason action since their 2019 championship win. For a franchise with such a passionate fan base, that's a tough pill to swallow. Martinez, who had been at the helm for 8 seasons, was the architect of that World Series victory, making his departure especially bittersweet. Meanwhile, Rizzo's tenure included some bold moves, like trading away superstar Juan Soto in 2022. Surprisingly, that trade paid off, bringing in 2 rising stars, James Wood and C.J. Abrams, who are expected to shine in the future. But even those successes couldn't save Rizzo's job when the team's overall performance faltered. Here's where it gets controversial: is firing both the general manager and the manager the right move, or is it just a knee-jerk reaction to appease frustrated fans? Some argue that Rizzo and Martinez deserved more time, especially given their past achievements. Others say this kind of drastic action is exactly what's needed to shake things up and signal to the players and the fans that mediocrity won't be tolerated. What do you think? Does a clean slate really guarantee improvement, or is it just a gamble that could backfire? The Nationals' next steps are critical, especially with the number 1 pick in the 2025 MLB draft just around the corner. Scheduled for next Sunday, this draft could be a game-changer for the franchise, offering a chance to bring in top talent and rebuild for the future. But here's the catch: draft picks alone won't fix a team's culture or leadership issues. The pressure is on for DeBartolo and the rest of the organization to make smart, strategic decisions. Interestingly, the Red Sox seem to have a knack for being at the center of these dramatic moments. Remember 2022? They were in the middle of a series against the Los Angeles Angels when the Angels decided to fire their manager, Joe Maddon. It's almost as if a Red Sox series is the ultimate stress test for opposing teams: pass, and you're golden; fail, and you might be cleaning house. But here's the big question that could spark some heated debates: are these firings really about performance, or are they more about optics, showing fans that something is being done? And what about the Red Sox? Does their dominance in these situations make them the ultimate villains in baseball, or are they just a wake-up call for teams that need to get their act together? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with the Nationals' decision to start fresh, or do you think they should have stuck with Rizzo and Martinez for another season? 2. Nationals shakeup, firing of manager Dave Martinez and GM Mike Rizzo. Imagine achieving the pinnacle of success in your career, only to see it all unravel in a matter of years. How would you handle that kind of fall? For the Washington Nationals, this isn't just a hypothetical scenario, it's the harsh reality they're facing as they part ways with manager Dave Martinez and general manager Mike Rizzo. This dramatic shakeup, announced on a Sunday night, marks the end of an era for one of baseball's most enduring duos, who once brought the franchise its only championship glory. But here's where it gets intriguing. Was this decision a necessary reset, or a hasty reaction to a slump that might not be entirely their fault? Let's dive into the story and unpack what it means for the team, and why it's sparking heated debates among fans. The Nationals' decision to dismiss Martinez and Rizzo brings the curtain down on a partnership that spanned years and delivered a historic World Series victory in 2019, the first and only title in the team's history. If you're new to baseball, think of the World Series as the Super Bowl of the sport. It's the ultimate prize, and winning it cements your legacy. That magical 2019 season saw the Nationals triumph over the Houston Astros in a nail-biting 7-game series, a feat that remains the franchise's proudest moment. But fast forward to today, and the picture looks very different. Over the past 6 seasons, the team has struggled, posting the second-worst record in all of baseball. This stark contrast raises a big question: how did a team that reached such heights fall so far? And why are Martinez and Rizzo the ones paying the price? Dave Martinez had been with the Nationals for 8 years, while Mike Rizzo's tenure as general manager stretched back to 2009, when he was promoted to the role. To put that into perspective, in a sport where managers and executives often face short leashes, their long run together was a rarity. Following their departure, the team has named Mike DeBartolo as the interim general manager, with an interim manager to be revealed the following Monday, signaling the start of a new chapter for the organization. In a heartfelt statement, Mark Lerner, the Nationals' managing principal owner, expressed gratitude for the duo's contributions. "Our family and the entire Washington Nationals organization owe a huge debt of thanks to Mike and Davey for everything they've done for our team and our community," Lerner said. He highlighted their role in bringing the World Series trophy to Washington, D.C., but also acknowledged the elephant in the room: the team's recent on-field performance has fallen short of expectations, both for the organization and its passionate fan base. Lerner emphasized that this moment is a critical turning point for the club, suggesting that fresh perspectives and renewed energy are essential to steer the team back toward success. But here's the part most people miss: is it fair to pin all the blame on Martinez and Rizzo, or are deeper systemic issues at play, like budget constraints or ownership decisions? Rizzo, for his part, took the news in stride, texting a reporter from the Washington Post with a philosophical outlook: "The sun will rise tomorrow morning. That's the nature of the job. I had an incredible run and guided this team through nearly 2 decades of challenges." His response reflects the resilience of a seasoned baseball executive who's seen it all, from championship parades to rebuilding years. And speaking of rebuilding, that's exactly where the Nationals find themselves now, in the midst of yet another overhaul since their 2019 triumph. While few outside the organization believed this young roster was ready to compete for a playoff spot, some within the front office were more optimistic. With the team languishing at 37 wins and 53 losses, dead last in the National League East, the firings signal an admission that new leadership is needed to guide one of the youngest lineups in baseball. And this is where it gets controversial. As the team struggled, tensions flared, particularly around Martinez's comments to the media. Last month, he insisted that the Nationals' woes were never about coaching, a statement that didn't sit well with everyone. According to sources close to the team, players were reportedly shocked, dismayed, and furious over his remarks, interpreting them as deflecting blame onto the roster. Martinez later clarified that his comments were not aimed at the players, but the damage was done. This incident raises a thought-provoking question: in a high-pressure environment like professional sports, how much responsibility should fall on the manager versus the players? Should Martinez have taken more accountability, or were his comments a fair defense of his coaching staff? I'd love to hear your take in the comments below. Do you think Martinez's stance was justified, or did it show a lack of leadership? Both Martinez and Rizzo were in the final year of their contracts, with the team holding an option to extend their deals, a decision that needed to be made by July. Martinez, now 60, joined the Nationals in October 2017, stepping into the role after serving as a bench coach under Joe Maddon with the Tampa Bay Rays and Chicago Cubs. Known for his player-friendly approach and traditional baseball philosophy, Martinez managed 1,122 regular season games, finishing with a record of 500 wins and 622 losses. Rizzo, 64, was equally entrenched in the organization, overseeing multiple rebuilds while navigating tight budgets. He earned a reputation for sharp decision-making, exemplified by his bold 2022 trade of superstar Juan Soto, which brought in promising talents like James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore, Robert Hassel III, and top prospect Jarlin Susana. For those unfamiliar, a rebuild in baseball means trading away star players for younger prospects, essentially hitting the reset button to build a stronger team for the future. But here's a counterpoint to spark debate. While Rizzo's trade was hailed as a masterstroke, the team's free agent signings, hampered by limited funds, have largely flopped, and inconsistent drafting has left the roster far from championship caliber. So, was Rizzo a genius constrained by ownership's budget, or did he fail to maximize the resources he had? Let's hear your thoughts. Looking ahead, the Nationals hold the number 1 pick in the upcoming MLB draft, set to begin on July 13th. For context, the MLB draft is a critical opportunity for teams to select the best young talent, much like the NFL or NBA drafts, but with a key difference: baseball prospects often take years to develop before reaching the major leagues. To prepare, the team revamped its scouting department before the 2024 offseason, bringing in Danny Haas as scouting director. Haas, alongside interim GM DeBartolo, will lead the charge in making this pivotal draft selection. Lerner praised DeBartolo as a smart and thoughtful executive, expressing confidence in his ability to guide the team through the draft and the upcoming trade deadline, two crucial moments that could shape the Nationals' future. Reflecting on their legacy, it's impossible to ignore the highs of 2019, when Martinez and Rizzo led the Nationals to a World Series title, defeating the Astros in a thrilling 7-game series. That victory remains the only postseason series win since the franchise relocated to Washington. But since then, Rizzo has overseen a dramatic dismantling of the roster, trading away key players in pursuit of long-term success. Even in the lean years, like 2022, when the team won just 55 games, or the back-to-back 71-win seasons that followed, Martinez remained relentlessly optimistic. Last season, despite another losing record, both he and Rizzo announced that the entire coaching staff would return, a decision that raised eyebrows given the team's struggles. As of Sunday night, no other coaches had been let go, including hitting coach Donnell Coles and pitching coach Jim Hickey, leaving fans wondering if the firings of Martinez and Rizzo are just the beginning of a larger overhaul. Throughout the latest season, Martinez set ambitious goals, stating in spring training that the team aimed to play meaningful games in September. On opening day, he upped the ante, declaring that true success meant reaching the playoffs. A lot of things have to go right, he admitted, and unfortunately, they didn't. The team's bullpen has been the worst in the majors, the starting rotation has struggled outside of Mackenzie Gore, and the lineup has been inconsistent beyond Wood and Abrams. The farm system, essentially the team's pipeline of young talent, has improved but still lags behind the league's best. After a promising start, with the team hovering around a .500 record in May, the Nationals hit a wall, suffering an 11-game losing streak and falling 16 games below .500 after being swept by the Boston Red Sox. Since their 2019 championship, only the Colorado Rockies have lost more games, a sobering statistic that underscores the challenges ahead. So, where does this leave the Nationals, and what can we learn from this saga? Banners, as they say, fly forever, but they don't guarantee job security. The firings of Martinez and Rizzo highlight the brutal reality of professional sports, where past glory can only shield you for so long. But here's a bold question to ponder: are we too quick to blame managers and GMs for a team's struggles, or should fans and ownership look in the mirror and consider their role in setting expectations and providing resources? As the Nationals embark on this new chapter, I invite you to share your perspective in the comments. Do you think Martinez and Rizzo deserved more time to turn things around, or was this shakeup long overdue? And what do you see as the biggest challenge facing the team moving forward? Let's get the conversation started. 3. MLB insider, Miguel Cairo's unexpected Nationals interim manager opportunity. In a shocking turn of events, Miguel Cairo, a former player for the New York Yankees, has been offered the position of interim manager for the Washington Nationals. This new opportunity has Cairo in a much more challenging situation than his first managerial stint with the Chicago White Sox in 2022, where he posted an 18-16 record. The Nationals' offer comes on the heels of the team's decision to fire their general manager, Mike Rizzo, and manager, Davey Martinez, on Sunday. According to a report by The Athletic's Britt Ghiroli, Cairo is the Nationals' top choice for the interim manager position. However, it's worth noting that Cairo previously served as Martinez's bench coach, making this a rather unusual situation. If Cairo accepts the job, he will likely be coaching for his next position outside of the Nationals organization. The team's poor performance this season, with a 37-53 record, may lead to another managerial change at the end of the year, regardless of Cairo's success. The Nationals' owner, Mark Lerner, expressed appreciation for Rizzo and Martinez's past successes but emphasized that the team's on-field performance has not met expectations. Lerner stated that a fresh approach and new energy are needed to move the team forward. Mike DeBartolo, the senior VP and assistant GM, will take over as interim general manager. But here's where it gets controversial. Some might argue that Cairo's appointment as interim manager could be seen as a temporary fix rather than a long-term solution. Is it fair to expect Cairo to turn the team's fortunes around in such a short period, especially given his complicated history with the team? The situation raises questions about the team's future and whether Cairo's experience as a player and coach will be enough to bring about the desired change. As the Nationals navigate this pivotal time, fans and critics alike will be watching closely to see how things unfold. And this is the part most people miss: the impact of this decision on the team's dynamics and the potential consequences for Cairo's career. Will he be able to make a lasting impression and secure a more permanent role, or will he be let go at the end of the season? Only time will tell. What do you think? Should the Nationals have considered other candidates for the interim manager position, or is Miguel Cairo the right man for the job? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 4. Nats fired GM and manager, impact on number 1 MLB draft pick and trade deadline. In a move that defies all baseball logic, the Washington Nationals chose the most critical week of the season to detonate their leadership, firing GM Mike Rizzo and manager Dave Martinez just 7 days before the number 1 MLB draft pick and the trade deadline. This unprecedented timing raises serious questions about the franchise's direction. But here's the controversial part most fans are missing: this decision wasn't just about performance, it stemmed from a contract deadline that forced ownership's hand in the most disruptive way possible. The duo that delivered Washington's historic 2019 World Series championship now exits during a painful rebuild, with the Nationals languishing at the bottom of the NL East. Why make this move now? Sources reveal the team faced an imminent deadline on Martinez's 2026 contract option. Ownership refused to exercise it and wanted to avoid a repeat of the 2011 Jim Riggleman lame duck debacle, where a manager threatened to quit mid-season over contract issues. Since Rizzo and Martinez were seen as a package deal, both had to go, even at baseball's worst possible moment. Interim GM Mike DeBartolo now faces a high-pressure debut, commanding Sunday's number 1 draft pick and steering the July 31st trade deadline. The draft spotlight falls on two Scott Boras clients, elite high school shortstop Ethan Holliday and LSU pitching star Cade Anderson. While industry experts believe the firing won't alter Washington's draft strategy in this talent-flat class, here's the uncomfortable truth: removing a scout-savvy executive like Rizzo days before the draft invites unnecessary risk in a franchise-defining decision. Trade deadline plans appear unchanged. The Nationals will shop veterans like Mike Soroka and closer Kyle Finnegan. But this is where opinions diverge: is first baseman Nathaniel Lowe a $10.3 million salary dump or an underrated trade chip? The Soto trade remains the rebuild's bright spot. Outfielders James Wood and Mackenzie Gore became all-stars while shortstop C.J. Abrams shines as one of baseball's top young talents. Yet the farm system's positional depth is alarmingly thin, and recent first-round picks like Elijah Green and Dylan Cruz haven't delivered. So we're left with the billion-dollar question: Was sacrificing stability during baseball's most strategic period worth avoiding a contract headache? And does this move signal deeper dysfunction in a franchise that struggled with ownership uncertainty since Ted Lerner's death? The timing feels less like strategy and more like panic. What do you think? Necessary reset or organizational malpractice?